Hello everyone and welcome back to this brand new video. So today is day 3 of the grind. And today we're trying something different. We're trying to play standard instead of historic because I figured let's mix things up. So for today we're playing something evil. Just like I started with historic with Azorius Control, a very evil deck, I decided to play something evil in standard. And what's more evil than Mill? Exactly what you're reading on the screen, Mill. So we're playing Jeskai Mill, and you might think, Chromium, why? Why are we playing Jeskai? And that's a very valid question. We're playing Jeskai because I'm obsessed with this card that's called Whirlwind of Thought. Now, I have to mention that this list is not my own. I found it on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken, or somewhere on the internet, but I really wanted to try it because of Whirlwind of Thought. And I thought that, the goal of my channel is to spread magic content to all of you. So I thought, what a better way to test out this deck than with my subscribers. So I thought, let's do that. So Whirlwind of Thought right here says, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you draw a card. You know how much I like spell slinging, you know how much I like casting spells, and to have a card reward me for casting spells by drawing cards, two of my favorite things, casting spells, drawing cards. You can add Teferi to that list, but Teferi ranks the highest, we all know that, so I don't even mention him. And speaking of Teferi, we're also playing Teferi's Tutelage. Teferi's Tutelage is a card that rewards you for drawing cards by milling your opponent for 2. Now I have to be honest with you guys, mill is not really my thing. I don't like the archetype too much, but I just wanted to try this deck. Maybe one of my subscribers like it, so we're just playing it together for fun. And beyond this small red splash for Whirlwind of Thought, the deck is mostly a blue-white control deck. Our only ways to get red is Raugrin Triome for it, and then we have a mountain because we can tutor it up with Fabled Passage. But beyond that, as I mentioned, it's a blue-white control deck, so you expect things like a board wipe in the form of Shatter the Sky. Glacial Grasp is a good card because it helps in milling our opponent, and then it taps down one of his creatures for 2 turns. And if we have Teferi's Tutelage on the field, it even mills even more because it draws a card, so I really like that card. Negate is here against problematic non-creature spells. Disruption is a good card because we don't play that many things on turn 2. So most of the time, if we don't tap out for a Glass Casket, a Folio of Fancies, we always have the option to keep up Disruption. If you don't, you can always play it as a land. And the fact that it's a land means that sometimes in the late points of the game, even if you top deck it, just because we're playing 3 of Ruin Crab, this top deck land could be something that's decent. Frantic Inventory is an amazing card paired with Teferi's Tutelage because when you get the option to loop Frantic Inventories with Teferi's Tutelage, things are going to get out of hand really quickly. Beyond that, Folio of Fancies, I am in love with this card just because if you're playing against a control deck that's kind of like trying to keep cards in their hand, not do anything, this card alone pressures them so much because what you can do is you can not play anything and then keep on activating this at end step. They have to mill, they keep on milling, they keep on milling, they keep on milling. You just simply win the game because you probably have less cards in your hand, or maybe just because you milled them out with a Teferi's Tutelage faster than you milled out with your with Folio of Fancies. Because if you read the card, it says 2 mana, blue. Each opponent mills cards equal to the number of cards in their hand. So assuming you and your opponent have the same number of cards in your hand, you're probably gonna mill out faster, just because you're a control deck, you're drawing cards. But if you're milling him out at the same time with Teferi's Tutelage and with Folio of Fancies, probably a mill battle that you're going to win. Beyond that, we have Revitalize. It's a good card. It helps you gain life against aggro, and then it draws cards, which is good with the Teferi's Tutelage. Glass Casket is here to deal with problematic creatures. Banishing Light deals with problematic permanents in general, but it can be used against creatures. Beyond that, Soul Guide Lantern is here to deal with escape cards. Stern Dismissal is nice because you can deal with Doom Foretold. You can bounce Doom Foretold. And why do we care about Doom Foretold? Doom Foretold says that at the beginning of your upkeep, you're going to have to sacrifice a non-land permanent. And it's one of the ways that Esper Control can force us to sacrifice our Tutelage. And if you notice this deck, beyond Ruin Crab and Teferi's Tutelage, and Folio of Fancies obviously, we don't have that many ways to mill out our opponent. So we need to make sure that our Teferi's Tutelage sticks on the field, and we want to protect it from Doom Foretold. So we're protecting it using Banishing Light, we're protecting it using Stern Dismissal, and we're protecting it using Negate. But Stern Dismissal is a good way for us that in case Doom Foretold resolves, end step, bounce it, that's a good tempo swing in our direction, and it can always be used to bounce creatures. So that versatility in effectiveness where it can be good against creatures and against a problematic enchantment like Doom Foretold is really good for us. Ruin Crab is just a good blocker and it's really good with our min plan in general, and Opt just synergizes very well with this deck. If you have a Teferi's Tutelage, opt is a draw 1 mill 2, and if you have Whirlwind of Thought, opt is a 1 mana draw 2, which is amazing. It's like one card away from being as broken as everyone's favorite card, Ancestral Recall. At least my favorite card. So beyond that, with the sideboard, since we're obviously a blue-white control deck, we have these cards. So Shatter the Sky is just another board wipe if you need more. Banishing Light is here to deal with more problematic permanents. Mystical Dispute is here against any blue deck, and we can sometimes bring it in against rogues because they play so many blue rogues. So a 1 mana counter spell to deal with the creature is good. Negate is here against maybe a control matchup where you want to resolve your tutelage or a key card. Glimpse of Freedom, funny enough, is against the mirror match because sometimes you are paired against a mirror mill match where you can use it to kind of outvalue your opponent in the long run by drawing more cards than them. Essence Scatter is here against creature decks. Anti-Cognition is a very interesting card because most of the time it is something that we have turned on. Glass Casket is once again here against problematic cards, but there's 3 in the sideboard because you would expect your opponent to bring in some kind of escape creature, and then having a way to permanently deal with an escape creature is amazing in the form of Glass Casket. Beyond that, another way I want to mention that you can go with this deck is to go with the transformative route. So maybe have some Jaces in the sideboard, some Planeswalkers like Elspeth, and then you bring those in post board, and then when you bring them in, your opponent's just going to be surprised that, oh, okay, I thought I'm going to be playing against Mill. I brought so many destroy target enchantment cards that are simply useless right now. And I think this deck is going to be very well placed because our enchantment dodge most creature removal that's in the format. And beyond this card here that's called Midnight Clock, there's not many ways to deal with Mill. For example, other formats had, trying to remember the name of the card, but they had a card, I think Gaia's, it has Gaia's in the name, I'm trying to remember it. So let's check it together actually. So it's a historic card. I'm not allowed to check historic cards because I think the deck is inputted as standard. Let's just fix that. Let's just put our deck as traditional historic. And then let's just put Gaia's, so we can just show you the card I have in mind. It has in green. Okay, so yeah, it's Gaia's Blessing. So Gaia's Blessing, when it gets milled, from your deck, it shuffles all of your library. So Standard doesn't have that. The only way you have in Standard to shuffle your deck is literally the Midnight Clock. So Mill is kind of well positioned currently in this meta. And that's going to be pretty much it for the assessment of the deck and why I want to play it. Now, before we get into our games, I would really appreciate it if you like, comment, and subscribe because the channel needs your support currently. I'm coming back from like a long hiatus and I'm trying my best to grind out content for you guys. Now, if you want to help the channel beyond liking, commenting, and subscribing, although that's really enough for me and I appreciate everything that you do for me, you can check out my Patreon link in the description down below where you can check many offers that I give. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for everything you do. Even if you don't join my Patreon, just having you in the comment section, having you subscribe is enough for me. Join our Discord server if you want to discuss anything, if you want to meet fellow friendly Magic people. And with that, I'll see you in the games. Going into our first game of Jeskai Mill, this is obviously a horrible hand that you shouldn't keep. Although, I am on the play, and then I can play Riverglide Disruption, then Dismissal. I'm gonna be responsible and mull. I wish I did not mull, although we have a double lander technically. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to keep this, and I think we can bottom Whirlwind of Thought when I don't have 2 of the colors needed for this card. So, opponent, where are you playing? What are you playing, opponent? He is playing mono green food. Alright, I'm gonna lead off with the Triome because I just want the colors. And mono green food, I kind of need to deal with a lot of things, so let's hope for the best. Alright, Edgedoll Innkeeper. Maybe he's playing Gruul Adventures actually. He's probably playing Gruul Adventures. I'm gonna lead off with a Plains. In case opponent plays land, plays beast, we now have a disruption to deal with that beast. Alright, opponent doesn't play anything. That would be a bit problematic. Alright, he does play something. We're gonna disrupt that. Annoying part being that he draws a card with edge wall, but we can't have everything. We can either play our land or lead off with a disruption to keep up a disruption. I think I'm gonna keep my land. I'm gonna play my land and then play this as a red source in the future. So that's the plan for now. Sure, we can take one. I mean, we can take two. And your Revitalize up the top just takes care of that attack. So we should be okay. Let's see what our opponent has in mind. Reminder, guys, to stay hydrated. Alright, I mean, sure, fine with me. He's probably trying to ensure that he makes his land drop, which is a wise move. Another Edgewall Keeper is kind of risky in my opinion. Because if I top deck Shatter, you're in a very bad spot. If I don't, I mean, sure, you're in a good spot, but whatever, yeah. Sure, we don't top deck what I need. Just, Magic Gods just don't like me. I think I'm gonna play Folio. And then try to draw into something, because we do need to draw into something. So I'd probably pay one to draw into each player have each player draw one card. Sure, at this stage, I mean, you can't stop that. Thrashing Brontodon is fine. And we're just gonna activate this to have each player draw one card. I mean, if he's gonna activate Brontodon in response, I'm fine. And there is our beautiful, beautiful Shatter the Sky. So we're just gonna shatter that sky. Probably Brontodon is gonna deal with our Folio in response. Yep, as expected. We're gonna have that resolve. At least we're back on level playing terms, and I'm gonna play this and pass. Now we have a Glacial Grasp to deal with whatever he plays, and now we have a Negate to deal with a potential. Trying to remember the name of the card. Sorry guys, it's been a while since I played Magic. It's the artifact that gives him a draw whenever a creature enters the battlefield. It puts a counter on it and then it gives him a draw. And we get Whirlwind of Thought, which I think we're gonna play, although it's risky, but I'm gonna play it. Alright, Bone Crusher Giant, our face is okay. I'm gonna play our land and I'm gonna pass and hope for the best. So you have Negate to stop Embercleave, which usually isn't the optimal way to stop Embercleave, but I mean, stopping Embercleave is stopping Embercleave, guys. The Great Hand is the card that I had in mind. Finally, I see it. I remember it. Alright, so we're not in the best of spots currently. We're facing 2 lethal threats, but it could be fine. It should be fine. So we're gonna play that and pass. And now Disruption is actually gonna cycle itself, because even if I play it on something that is not going to work, I think I should have not done this. I think I should have tapped the Scavenging Ooze for the sole reason of me taking damage, and then Ooze is now lethal. Unless I top deck something. So I could. So Frantic Inventory. Yeah, I think I should have better sequenced that play. We do not get punished, although I don't deserve it, but we do not get punished. So Whirlwind of Thought, draw a card. Now if you top deck a Shatter the Sky, we're in an amazing spot, honestly. Alright, Scavenging Ooze again is fine. And then we're probably gonna play a Bone Crusher Giant. Sure. And here is to us hoping that this is enough. I'm gonna play Teferi's Tutelage. So we're gonna draw a card. And we draw a Frantic Inventory. We're gonna mill him for 2. Our Revitalize is insane, honestly. I think we can pitch our Triome. I think I'm gonna pitch my Triome. We're gonna mill him for 2 again. Play a Ruin Crab. Play a Fabled Passage. And then I think it's enough to pass. Yeah, I think we're just gonna pass. Pass to your opponent. He's gonna grow his Scavenging Ooze, probably. Yep, that's the plan. So let's grow our Ooze. I love how I say our Ooze, as in like I have any kind of involvement with the Scavenging Ooze. Grow the Ooze again. Alright, Brushfire Elemental is annoying. If he has a land, it's lethal. Because like I can block here, I can actually we can still draw gain life with Revitalize. Yeah, I think it's fine. Is there a land in hand? No land in hand. He doesn't have double red for Embercleave, so I think it's gonna be fine for us. Yeah, sure. Let's go to attack phase. Alright, so we're gonna pass the blockers, block here, activate our Fabled Passage, get a... I think I'm just gonna get a blue source, but I mean it doesn't really matter. And we're going to mill our opponent once again. We're gonna revitalize to double mill our opponent. That way we gain some life, we make it harder and harder for our opponent to kill us. Alright, double, mill our opponent, and then have Revitalize trigger to also mill our opponent. I really hate playing mill, but I mean, just playing control is fine. And then I think I'm gonna Stern's Dismissal the Scavenging Ooze. That's fine with me. I meant to say oops. I don't think you should go for it. I'm really sorry for faking it off one of us. It's not a good game, really. It's still not a good game, opponent. I have a bounce spell. Sorry to like ruin your mood, but I have a bounce spell. We're in no way, safe, to be honest. So we're just gonna end up taking one. We're gonna lose our Ruin Crab, which is annoying. And we're gonna hope to draw into a Shatter the Sky. Why did I still not draw into a Shatter the Sky? Okay, so the question is, can I mill him out? Okay, so playing Teferi's Tutelage already does some work. I think we're gonna probably loot away a Fabled Passage. Alright, Ruin Crab is an amazing top deck, because now we can even mill him some more. Let me think for a bit. So, Frantic Inventory draws us 3 cards. 3 times 4 is 12, and then Ruin Crab should be enough. Yeah, I think we have this game done. Yeah. So now we're just gonna mill. Guys, again, I really hate to play mill, but I'm just taking it as I'm playing a combo control deck. So we're gonna get a blue source, and I'm gonna opt just to see more cards before I'm doing anything. And we're gonna draw, and then we're gonna double draw with Tutelage. And I think even playing Tutelage should be lethal. Alright, so mill 2. We don't need Folio of Fancies. We're gonna draw, mill 2. Yeah, I think if we play Teferi's Tutelage, we just win. And I think I'm gonna go with that option. So Teferi's Tutelage, good game. Game 1 mill done. Alright, so I'm probably gonna expect to bring in some Glass Caskets, some Banishing Lights from Shatter the Sky, since Scatter's obviously in. Don't like Folio, I don't like... Actually, I do like Revitalize. I don't like Disruption when you're on the draw. And I think we can cut out on one Whirlwind of Thought, just because he's probably bringing in some removal for that. Gonna keep in one Negate to deal with the Great Hand. And I'm wondering if I want to bring in another one. And then maybe cut out an Opt or a Ruin Crab, maybe. Maybe we cut out one Tutelage, play one Negate, just because Tutelage is gonna be bad now because opponent's gonna bring in Brontodon, so you kind of want ways to deal with other stuff that he might be playing, and then just play out as a regular control deck. So just grind out some value, board wipe, we're ahead on card advantage, we just mill him out with Tutelage. I just need to check the clock because I have a meeting, guys. Alright, no update on the meeting, we're all good. So Fabled Passage into Island next turn, banishing Glass Casket, Banishing Light should be fine. Alright, Edge Walling Keeper. Left Strike Beast is okay. We can always play land, bounce this. Thing is, does he play anything that bothering on turn 2? I don't think so. There's Brushfire Elemental, but if he plays him next turn, he's just not gonna do anything with it. Alright, he doesn't even have a Brushfire Elemental, so we could be fine. Sure. Another Left Strike Beast token makes my Stern Dismissal plan way worse. We are going to fetch for a white source to get our double white for a potential future Shatter the Sky. Alright, past the attackers, opponent not playing around. We are going to opt in response. I could have bounced this, but I'd rather just Glass Casket it. I could keep this, and I could just bottom it. I think we do need the land, so I'm gonna keep it. Alright, now we have a Shatter the Sky, which is good. I'm just gonna play this, exile this, and I'm gonna go for blue because I do want a double blue in my life. So Questing Beast would be annoying top deck, no Questing Beast. Another left strike beast is okay, it can eat a Glass Casket. We're just gonna go, actually, I mean, Fabled Passage next turn makes sure that our land enters untapped. I'm gonna calm down a bit. Alright, no need to be calm. I'm just gonna play Glass Casket, deal with this left strike beast, and just pass the turn. So let's see what our opponent has in mind. Mammoth is fine. It's kind of okay, really. We can take the damage. I'm going to play Crack Fabled Passage. I'm gonna opt first. Actually, I think no need to opt. I think I'm just gonna Frantic Inventory. Get the planes, so we turn on Shatter the Sky, Frantic Inventory for 1. We have a red source now, which makes me feel good. So we could Shatter the Sky, keep up on blue for any bothersome cards. I think that's the plan. So the sky has been just shattered. Now we have Stern Dismissal to bounce something annoying, Banishing Light to deal with a problematic permanent. Alright, so we're probably going to have it resolve because I do want the Banishing Light Questing Beast. Sure, we take some damage, but it's okay in the long run. Play land, that's fine with us. I'm looking for like a way to capitalize on the game, and we're not really drawing into that. Another Shatter the Sky is cool. Yeah, I think it's time for us to play Banishing Light, deal with this Questing Beast. Play a land and pass a turn. I could have kept this to cycle it, but I want to like make a lot of land drops for now. Sure, Fabled Passage is okay. I'm not gonna waste the Stern Dismissal on an Edgewall Innkeeper, so we should be okay. We're just gonna Glass Casket that Edgewall Innkeeper. Does that earn something from my opponent? It does. I'm quite surprised. Alright, so I wonder why that happened, but I mean, sure. When you don't draw into a card advantage piece to win with your control deck, just stay hydrated. Frantic Inventory is definitely a good sign. A sign of improvement, that is. Alright, feels bad for my opponent that he's drawing that many lands. Edgewall Innkeeper is fine. We're gonna simply just Frantic Inventory. And then we're gonna Revitalize, please. Alright, sure. We're gonna just bounce this, because now we have the Essence Scatter for anything that's bothersome. We have double Essence Scatter, and I think I'm gonna keep my Triome to draw some cards. Now we're just looking for a Teferi's Tutelage, and then we're probably good. So upon thinking, I'm gonna counter this Edgewall Innkeeper. Now, why am I countering Edgewall Innkeeper? You see, like, the game is really a stalemate currently, and anyone who's gonna draw more cards, we're gonna negate that, is gonna be the one winning at the end. And just me getting ahead in card advantage is better. And I think it was a hasty counter because I could have Shattered the Sky, whatever he got. So I think it was a hasty counter spell that might come as that might come back to bite us in the end. I think it might come back to bite us in the end. Alright, it did not yet. Frantic Inventory would be an amazing thing to top deck. No. Alright, I mean, we kind of deserve it for playing this deck. I think what can be improved in this deck is, alright, that's a very sad Emerald. What can be improved in this deck is maybe playing more Castle Vantress or Castle Vantress or Castle Ardenvale, because that kind of gives you something to do with your mana. Although I think maybe what we have right now is an unlucky draw. We're gonna scatter that. We're probably gonna draw a card with Cycle trying to draw a card. I mean, please. Alright, finally, Teferi's Tutelage. That's an amazing top deck. And virtually free to discard. Sure, we're gonna discard the planes. And we're gonna start the mill plan. Milling Phoenix of Ash isn't the best feeling in the world, honestly. But I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. See, Phoenix of Ash is quite scary Because if he plays it for... Actually, if he plays it, doesn't have a lot to cycle. I mean, to activate it, so we should be fine. He has enough to equip it with Embercleave. Is it lethal? I think it's not. Yeah, it's not. So we're gonna Frantic Inventory anyways before he goes into combat. And we're gonna mill for 3. So mill 1. Stop milling his land, guys. Stop milling his card advantage pieces, please. And we're gonna bounce this Phoenix of Ash. I don't think I want to deal with it quite yet. And we're gonna probably Whirlwind of Thought, and then Embercleave, Banishing Light the Embercleave. So Whirlwind of Thought, deal with Banishing Light the Embercleave. And we're kind of looking for a counter spell, please. No counter spell in sight. Am I dead in any way? I'd expect I'm not dead, but I mean, you never know. You never know. Gruul aggro can deal 10 damage quite easily. So Phoenix of Ash is okay. Although that means there's no Ox coming our way, so I wonder what he's doing, really. Really wondering what's coming our way. Is this attack pump? It is attack pump, right? And that's what it seems. That's what it seems. Is it attack pump? He's counting his green sources. Sure, let's take 4. What else do you have in mind? A mammoth is fine. We're gonna Shatter the Sky and draw. I mean, we're in no way safe. We really need to draw a Revitalize just to kind of seal the deal, or a counter spell. I mean, a creature counter spell. That's not really what I wanted to draw, but I think we're gonna be fine. We're gonna draw this card. Not really what I also wanted. Alright. We're not in the best of spots, guys. Especially if he draws into another red source. If he draws into another red source, I think we're dead. Alright, Phoenix of Ash is okay. Because we can like kill it for one more turn. We're gonna end up taking 5. It's gonna pump. Alright, we're down to 1. We're down to 1. There's nothing with green except for Hornet Sting that deals 1 damage. Hornet Sting is a very old card. Don't think about it. So Soul Guide Lantern is officially the last nail on the coffin for our opponent, and I think that it even wins us the game because now I can Shatter the Sky. Yeah, I think our opponent's dead. I can Shatter the Sky. That mills. Yeah, I think we won. We won this game. I have no idea how, but we won this game, guys. Alright, so we're gonna Shatter the Sky. That mills. A Shatter the Sky that mills is something that should not be legal. I mean, sorry, a Shatter the Sky that draws should not be legal. And then we're gonna Teferi's Tutelage, and we're gonna give our opponent the old GG. And that's it for the game. That's it for the game. Alright, so mill is evil. I don't like playing mill. But just because, and I do mean just because we beat an aggro deck, it's okay for me to be evil because we destroyed an aggro deck. So guys, I wanted to thank you so much for watching. Your support really means a lot to me. If you want to check out more content, feel free to check out any of my other videos. But again, thank you so much for the constant support. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with one of your evil friends that likes to play mill, although we don't like these people, do we? I do have a lot of friends in my LGS that love mill, so don't tell them I said that. Beyond that, feel free to check out my Patreon link in the description down below if you want to help out the channel and if you want to help me out because I'm going through some financial crisis in the moment. And with that, I'll see you guys next time.